Hello everyone, and welcome you back to my channel. Today, after many requests, I'm going to discuss on Fiji Year 12 personal writing. These are some of the things that we'll be discussing, but mainly today I will look at letter to a friend. And without further ado, let's just go directly into our discussion. So if you're watching this and the exams is pretty close for Year 12, so you have a few days left for your revision, and effective revision work, I tell you, it does wonders. So just stick to those sections that you know that you will garner more marks, which is your writing section. And within the writing section, you have different coverage or different questions. So I want you to be confident that when you enter into the exam room, you have studied effectively. So if you are confident in writing a letter to a friend, letter to the editor, a journal, narrative, or newspaper reports, or using the picture to do any of these, stick to that. I'm teaching kids now that want to switch up because they heard something different from another person or from another teacher, but they've been doing well with doing one thing. So please, students, don't be adventurous at this moment. Stick to what you're comfortable with so that you can start with your effective studying and revision. All right, so personal writing is question 1, section B. So personal writing for this year, you have done letter to the editor, letter to a friend, journal entry, narrative essay, and newspaper reports, and lastly picture. Now I'm going to really discuss on picture later, but let's go to journal entry. So many of you, hopefully your teachers have told you from the beginning of the year that there will be no diary entry in year 12. Diary entry is no longer an option when it comes to Fiji Year 12 English personal writing section. So it has been replaced with journal entry. I'm not going to discuss journal entry with you now, but I hope that you'll go back to your teachers, albeit it might be late, but if you're watching this later and then you have enough time to ask them about it, this year the exam markers, if you have written a diary entry, you'll be heavily penalized, because by now your language teachers should have told you that it's no longer accepted. Okay, so under these ones, there'll be also picture. Now picture, please take note, year 12, you're not allowed to use the picture to write an expository essay. You are only allowed to use these types of writing. Under personal writing, these types only to use the picture. So you can write a letter to the editor using the picture, letter to a friend using the picture, etc. So please practice looking at your past year papers or your internal papers, looking at the picture and then seeing that you can use one of these forms of writing in using your picture. All right, so let's look at the notes to letter to a friend. All right, let's look at the notes. This is writing to a friend. Notes and the brief outline. So that is our title. For first of all, you're going to look at your introduction. Nowadays, this is a thing of the past where you read a letter to your friend. We used to do that, you would say, back in my day, but maybe your parents or your older aunties and uncles, they usually write to a friend because we weren't so easy accessible to the internet. So we would write, you would call snail mail to our friends if they are in another city or if they attend another school. Okay, so this is writing a letter to a friend. Now I want you to imagine that this is just like how you would make a diary entry, how you would share your feelings about something that you are going through or went through to your diary. This would be similar, but they would be not exactly the same features, but they would be similar. Okay, let's start with the opening, which is your greeting. So you will have hey or hi. These are examples that are in quotation marks. It's been a while since we last spoke. Now in diary entry, you cannot write this because obviously the diary is an inanimate thing, so it will not respond to you. So you cannot write this in diary. So that is where there's a difference. For this, you know that you and your friend are speaking to each other through the letters, so that could be your greeting. Next would be your expression of warmth and connection. I am grateful that I have a friend like you that I can confide in. So with that opening, you know that you're about to share something with your friend, something either very personal that you want to confide in them. Confide is just basically sharing something with them. Okay, on that note, you also have to have personal updates, so you are to share a recent experience, so the highlights of your life. So if you were, oh, I was just chosen to be head boy or head girl, or significant events or achievements, so I won $100 from my local supermarket with an essay that I had written, and etc. So significant, not mundane, boring things that you are doing every day, like, oh yeah, today I woke up and my toothbrush fell on the ground, but I used it anyway. They might be interesting to some, but something significant, like worth mentioning. Right, B is inquire about your friend's life. So don't be all selfish, talking about yourself a lot. You ask about their well-being. So how's it been? I heard recently that your mom is sick, and you show some genuine interest in your friend's life. Okay, prompt them to share updates. So share some exam tips. This is just an example. Since exams are coming up, this also, when you prompt them or you ask them to share updates, you can also go back to your personal writing themes. Right, by now you've already completed how many exams, so you know that every personal writing comes with a theme. Right, later you can discuss on shared interest. So you're going to discuss common hobbies or interests. So share any new discoveries or interests, or ask if your friend has come across anything interesting. Now this is basically like these notes are just there to show how what could be in your content of your letters. But for exams, you are to refer to the question or refer to the picture and see to the theme. So the paper that we're going to discuss, which was last year's paper, I will look at the picture because there was no direct question about letter to a friend. So we're going to look at the picture. Okay, supportive and encouragement. Now, once again, this is your friend. You need to acknowledge their efforts and achievements. For example, when I lost my parents, our friendship has helped me through those hard times. You provide positive reinforcement. You say you speak positive words to your friend, and you can also express your support. You show empathy if they are facing challenges. Okay, for example, if you heard that they have recently lost their house in a fire, and you want to offer assistance if needed. It's like, oh, I got some spare uniforms that you can use, or I got some exercise books that my uncle had bought that I'm not using, you could use for school, or etc. So you express your support. Next one is shared memories. Now this, once again, you have to go back to the question, but I'm just writing these, listing them down could be some just to give you an idea of what it's like to write to a friend. You can recall fond memories or share humorous or funny or meaningful anecdote. So that's basically just a short story. Then later on, you can plan for the future, so you can discuss upcoming events or plans. So share your future goals, aspirations, inquire about your friends' plans, and then you can later express your gratitude, like thanking your friend for their friendship, express appreciation for their presence in your life. Okay. Then later you can highlight, yes, specific qualities you value in them. So you can talk about, oh, I'm so grateful that you're confident and I'm shy. We are able to balance each other out when you go and meet new friends. You're always there to express yourself, and I admire that. You be specific about the good things you see in them. Okay, your closing, you are to end on a positive note. So express anticipation for their response. Like, for example, I can't wait for you to reply to my letter, or I can't wait to hear your response and how to, the content of the letter, and mention looking forward to future interaction. So looking forward to seeing you this weekend, so we can actually speak in person, or looking forward to the Christmas holidays, so we can spend time together, etc. Remember, this is a friendship. It shouldn't be formal, where you are saying, I hope for a favorable response. That is too formal. So that you need to see that your tone is it is presentable but informal. I hope you can understand. You can always go back to your language teachers, or you can comment down below if you have specific queries about this discussion. Alright, so these are additional tips. Keep the tone conversational and friendly. being mindful of your preferences and sensitivities. You can use humor when appropriate and share relevant details, but avoid overwhelming them with information. Now remember, the key to a great letter is authenticity, meaning you are not fake and you are real with your expression of care for your friend. Okay, so those are the notes. Now let's look at a past year paper question. That I've chosen was last year's paper. So if you have a copy, I want you to read the writing section on page 3. The theme of this question, which will always be the case for year 11 and 12, you all have a theme for each personal writing section. The theme of this question is Our Ocean, Our Future. 180 to 200 words on one of the topics A to D given below. Each requires writing in a particular register for a particular audience. At the beginning of the video, I want you to go back and see the registers that I have written down. Okay, so let's just pause here and then we will refer back to our the beginning of the video where I the different registers, which are these. So personal writing coverage, letter to the editor, letter to a friend, journal entry, narrative essay, newspaper reports, and your picture. So you are only allowed to discuss on these registers for personal writing students. So not all of the questions are going to come. You are going to use the picture. Even if the question is there and you think that you are not able to answer, or it seems too complicated for you, you can always use the picture using these registers. All right, so let's go back to the paper. Okay, here. So let's start with option A. Now you are to write a letter to the local newspaper highlighting the success. So there is a letter to the editor. We are not discussing that today. With close reference to the theme, you are to write a narrative essay. So that's narrative essay writing. Here we go. Then there's a journal entry ending with, now I realize that it is easier said than done. Okay, let me just zoom so we can have better. Okay, that's better. Once again, letter to the editor, narrative essay, journal entry. See, you notice there is no newspaper report, there is no letter to a friend. So this is where you will use the picture. So today we are going to look at the picture. So this is the picture from the last year's paper, going back to our theme, which was Our Ocean, Our Future. So you can use the picture to write your letter. Okay, so this letter can be the day I went, you want to share with your friend about the day you went scuba diving at Mamanuda Islands because you want a trip, or because you went with your family there, or the day I planted mangroves in front of our school if you come from a coastal school, or the day you helped the Rotary Club or a non-governmental organization to plant mangrove trees to save the environment or to combat climate change. So all these things can be discussed in your two pictures. These two pictures, you have to choose one of the pictures, and you can discuss using the letter to a friend. Right, students? So I won't go deeply into discussing because you are to have to refer to your notes. You can always ask your teacher if they have any notes, or just the basic way how I discussed at the beginning of my brief notes discussion was, think of it as a diary entry, but you are expecting the person to reply back to you. So your wording will be different. You are going to share things with them that only you would with a friend. Right? So that's our video for today. I hope you have learned as much as you can from these short videos that I have been doing up. And remember, always ask your teachers for further clarification. You can always comment down below for clarification on these notes, and I will directly answer. But if there are suggestions, I would really appreciate if you could either email me, or I will mainly email me, and I'll put my information down below where you can email me. Right, so thank you so much, and all the best with your revision and your upcoming exams.